this is Becky. Welcome back to my channel. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how to find the right person. So people usually think, well, I'll just find the right person, right? They come up with like these checklists in their head of, what the superficial 3D materialistic, ideals would be for them. It's like, first of all, no, you won't. Relationships don't just magically happen. You don't find someone that's your perfect fit and then you live happily ever after. That's fantasy, delusion, fed to you, bad programming. Let's put it that way. Second, if you found the right person and they ever saw you, they just run away screaming because you have your own work and healing to do. Even me now. I know the more that I keep trying to be like, where are the divine men on the planet? Like, all I'm seeing are toxic. I am seeing fakes. I'm seeing phonies. I am not seeing people in their divinity. I see a lot of people pretending to be in their divinity, but good works are dead works. And so, it just doesn't automatically happen the way that they want you to believe in the fairy tale romances. I really can't stand Disney. Because they program these unrealistic expectations and social conditioning into children. It's just the whole conceptual scheme is wrong. It is not God's design. This was not his blueprint. This is ego-based partners, which aren't good for the children. They're not good for you either, but really, adults, you had enough time on the planet to figure it out. Kids, I feel for them because they're already coming in going, what the hell is going on around here? This isn't how it's supposed to be. And then they become angry over not having people listen to them, actively hear them, and taking action in the right direction. I learned just as much from my kids as they learned from me. It was a partnership. I used to joke and say, listen, mom is the carbon-based AI mother, right? But I am version 1.0. You guys are version 2.0. You guys are the future. That means you have more insight and wisdom in what's coming, where I have all the insight and the wisdom of what's already happened. So if we work together in partnership, the generations working together, well, then we can bridge the gap and we can recreate, heaven on earth, where we have everybody tapped into their divinity, learning their mystical, magical gifts. And I won't have to just be stuck in a teacher role of teaching everybody else how to have their happily ever afters, but then I would actually get to live my own happily ever after and not just be stuck in service. It's like I'm supposed to get to enjoy being a human too, not just the God force that everybody sucks dry, right? I'm supposed to be teaching you how to tap into source for yourself so you don't have to come at me. So when it comes to relationships, you have to, think of more long-term, more down the road. Is this somebody that you can grow with? Is this somebody you can evolve with? Not just somebody who can give you a comfortable life. Because what happens is those women become evil. They might not start out that way, but they become evil when they're given everything and they're handed everything and they're made the princess and they have no challenges. They get bored. So then they will torment other women and men. They will cheat. They will lie. They will steal. They will do drugs. They will manipulate because they're bored. Because the men have told them conditioning that I want you to be X, Y, and Z. And if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then I take your whole life away from you. You get no food. You get no water. It's like the soup Nazi. No soup for you, right? That was never how God intended partnership to be. But that is what ego-based men and women do. So you have to really know your audience, right? You have to find the person that's right for you. And you are unique. There is nobody else like you on the planet ever, or ever will be again. So to think that it's a cookie cutter, one size fits all, that everybody should be the traditional wife and the traditional husband, that is not the case. That is not the case. Everybody has free will. That's the part that everybody wants to just forget. We have free will. You don't get to say, in my mind, I want that person to do this thing and they have to do it. That's black magic. That's Warcraft. That's wizardry. That's warlock stuff. That is not okay. That is not okay. That is not sexy. That is not cool. That is not like, ooh, I'm seducing you metaphysically, baby. No, that's Warcraft. That's psychological warfare. We're not supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to communicate vessel to vessel. You're not supposed to be invading my consciousness. You're not supposed to be invading my mental space. There's a barrier there. There's a block there. There's a me constantly having to do this to people, saying, I am not a prostitute. I am not a whore. I am not your wife. I am a vessel used by God. And I shouldn't have to do that. Nobody should have to do that. And I shouldn't have to always be prim and proper and making sure. If I'm working out and I'm in a tank top, or if I'm at the beach and I'm in a bikini and my cellulite is showing, I don't care. I am there to have a good time and enjoy life with the people that mean something to me. Now, am I running around in my underwear trying to get attention? No, I'm not. But I'm also not going to hide and pretend like I have to stay into a hermit mode. People want me to hide in hermit mode, but I'm not meant to be in hermit mode. Now, I retreat in order to recharge, in order to, like I said, constantly energetically cleanse, core. And I'm trying to get better about learning new ways. Like I saw a video about egg cleansing. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try egg cleansing. Like, I'm still trying to learn. But where I'm at in Indiana, it's a Bible Belt. I don't have spiritualists around me. And if they are, they're in hiding. Because the religious people are going through and like unaliving people and trying to make them homeless, so then that way the homeless people are getting unalived and then we look like we've been drug addicts and strung out. The stuff that is happening to humans in the United States, it is spiritual, holy war. There's no other way to put it. So when you're trying to find a true divine being, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Like I'm to the point now where I don't think that I have my species here. I am not of this planet. I am an alien force that is here to do good for humanity, and I've been in service since 1976. I surrendered my ego in this vessel when I was 5 years old. Now people want to like beat me up and do all this stuff to get me out of alignment, and then I have to isolate in order to regroup, to get back to my center, to get back to my core, in order to go back out into the world. So I have not found an equal on this planet yet. I do believe that he is out there, but I don't know how to get to him when the 3D has me physically grounded in one spot. I know I'm supposed to be moving. I know I'm supposed to be visiting places because I'm a grid worker, and I know that I'm supposed to be connecting with other divine beings. So I feel like I am pushing all this energy out there to call them in, and yet all I'm getting are the fakes and the phonies and the frauds. And I'm just like, Lord, I know there's divine beings out there. Why won't they talk to me? Why? I don't know. But when you're looking for your partner, I tried answering that question. How do I find the person that's right for me? And I tried answering it, and I tried answering it, and I've tried answering it. I have so many people around me that sabotage every person that comes into my life because they can be swayed with money or greed or lust or drugs. And then I have to watch them get derailed and hit the wall that I tried to warn them they were going to hit. And they get mad at me because they hit the wall that I told them they were going to hit. So I tried answering that question, and I thought, well, I know why I can't get this answer. It's because it's a stupid question. And I think I got this one off of watching a video of Jordan Peterson. It's a badly formulated question. It's not the right question. The right question is, how can I learn to offer something to someone else that would make me entirely, imminently desirable? So that's what I've mastered. I've mastered self. And it's still not working. So I'm still learning as you're still learning, because all I'm attracting in here in the United States is toxic, 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 toxic. So I'm like, can I please go to another country? Can I please go somewhere else to see if there's healthy masculines? Because they're not in Indiana, and I don't even think that they're in the United States. And you have to laugh and you have to joke about it, because this is a big issue for the whole planet, right? We have to learn how to look at people very carefully and study behaviors, because behavior is communication. So how can I learn to offer something to someone else that would make me desirable? That's what you're really wanting to ask yourself. Instead of seeking out elsewhere of what would look good to you, just really work on yourself. That's the key. And that's the right question, because you can build yourself into a person that people would like to be in alignment with. So once you find that person, right, don't let them manipulate you. That's the other hard part of it, because when we love someone, we don't want to always have to call them out on things. We want to say, hey, they're going to learn the lessons that they need to learn in their own way, in their own time, and I'm not supposed to interfere. But when you're connected to that person, then it does impact you. So what if you're dealing with a victim and always trying to get you to apologize for something that you didn't really do? You know, people will use guilt and shame and try to get you to have like remorse in order to get you to make a choice that would be in their best interest more than your best interest. So there are definitely those that use apologies to manipulate, which is why I always tell, like when I work with clients, I had one gentleman who was 30 years old, who was severely autistic. He would be considered nonverbal, but he could parrot, and I could use my telepathy and my spiritual gifts to communicate with him, and we did great together. But he would intentionally do things to upset other people. So we would go to the YMCA on certain days to go swimming, and we would do like the water aerobics class, which of course he did not want to participate in. So it was me doing a lot of parallel play with this adult who was still spiritually a child. And so I was trying to help him evolve spiritually, because he was going to be kicked out of the YMCA for disrupting this, and it's the older women's water aerobics classes. So you have all these elderly people that are geriatric, and they don't want, you know, the chaos and the loudness, and he knew how to control it. And we had a reward system set up, and behavior modifications were in place, and he did great most of the time. But if I wasn't paying enough attention to him, then he would intentionally act up. So it becomes very difficult in knowing how much to feed into something to address it, because they like, even negative attention is better than no attention. And then how do I help them, you know, shape that into getting attention through positive behaviors? I ended up able to work with him, but the minute that they had me removed from his case and they put somebody else in there, well, he ended up getting kicked out of the YMCA. So, you know, we can't let people manipulate us. And he would manipulate by doing the puppy dog ear or puppy dog eyes and be all like mopey and sad, and I'm sorry. And I'm like, you know that you're not supposed to be screaming like that. The I'm sorry doesn't count anymore, because you said it so many times that I know that you don't mean it. The best apology isn't the words necessarily I'm sorry. I mean, that's nice. But the best apology is actually change behavior. So I don't have to keep redirecting and redirecting and redirecting to hear I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Like, nobody wants to keep hearing I'm sorry, because then tears become manipulation and the I'm sorries become manipulation to put up with abuse. And that's whether you're in a personal connection with somebody, or like me, when it was a professional, experience, that I was like, okay, this money is not going to be worth this time, this effort, this aggravation. He's intentionally trying to get me upset in order to gain the attention, and I'm not willing to play this game with him. And so then I exit the premises, and then somebody else comes in and tag, you're it, take over, good luck. But there are definitely those that will use emotions to manipulate. Then they will sometimes cry, maybe throw a fit. Even like a 7-year-old knows, right? Even when a 2-year-old's crying, they know how to get your attention. And there is a PDF that I created that I can sell to you that is called, what was it? 1, 2, 3 Magic, and it's about disciplining. The same rules that you would use to discipline a toddler is what you would use to discipline even a teenager. And so it kind of goes through, and I've typed up a bunch of examples of scenarios of like role-playing type situations of like, this is the situation and this is how the parent handled it and how it went, maybe in an unexpected direction. And then I will also then give you how the scenario played out with the proper type of disciplinary strategies. And so if you reach out, then I can connect you with that resource that I created. So the person, no matter what age they are, they're probably trying to get your attention, and they usually get what they wanted once they pull on your heartstrings. So then people turn to kind of becoming more cold-hearted towards people, and then that's not good either. So trying to find a healthy balance without being manipulated. It's an easy trap to fall into if it becomes a continued habit, that they're always the victim and everybody's against them. This type of person, you just need to get your hands stiff-armed slowly away from that inner circle to add distance, because at that point, it is just a control tactic that's going to wear you down. People that are just emotional sand traps, right? Like quicksand, right? You see somebody that's like got their feet in quicksand, but the more that you try to help them with that emotional power struggle that they're having within themselves, well, the more that they're sinking in that quicksand, and you're getting then sucked into the quicksand with them. So it's more along the lines of, you need to be able to throw them, a tool so they can help themselves, instead of you being the one to grab their hand and try to pull them out, because more than likely they're going to pull you in instead of you pulling them out. And it can be hard when somebody is emotionally upset to say, I'm sorry, this is out of my realm of comfort or out of my realm of expertise, and I can only do this much, when they're wanting you to give, so much more, when you can only offer what you can offer. My advice is, you need to start to distance yourself from those people. And if you really did something, of course, own up to that. And then some people are just more sensitive to others in that way. So it's a case by case. I mean, for me, I can really differentiate the intentions behind somebody's action. So if it was just like accidental, or just a one-time thing, I'm pretty understanding of that. Like, I can understand the trauma that most humans go through, and so I can excuse a lot. What I expect, though, is that when I go to that person, I say, this is a problem that we need to address. I will not tolerate someone who just blatantly chooses to say, no, that's not a problem. Well, it's a problem for me, and then that means I am no longer going to communicate with you. If you don't think it's a problem when I've said it's a problem, well, then that means we're not on the same page, and then we shouldn't be in the same social circle. And so I can detach like Velcro to people very easily because I believe that we are meant to learn from every individual that we ever come into. So if you just Velcro to one person for the rest of your life, well, then you don't get to explore other versions of you that are out there walking the earth. That everybody has their own story, their own unique hero's journey that they're on, and that's more of the lines that I'm wanting to help people with where they're at in their journeys and help move them forward in their journeys, not just get anchored into their storyline and then I can't get out of their storyline, because I have my own storyline. I'm the center of my own storyline. But what I like to do is I do like to co-create, but I don't want codependency. I don't want people that are gonna latch on to me and then not pull their own weight, and people don't want the same for me. So I have to make tough decisions as a leader, just like you have to make tough decisions as a leader in your right. And so if you are interested in having some deep conversations on some wisdom and some insight, please reach out to homans.consulting@gmail.com so we could talk more about your situation and how I might be able to help. I have several programs as well as many resources that I've created and would love to share them with you. And so I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and I will talk with you in the next video. Have a great day.